Oh, shoot. Knocked the mic over. Guys, welcome to the Scent Bubble. I am your host for the very late evening. We are cranking videos out tonight because I wanted to get done with a lot of reviews. And this is going to be a short video, I promise. This is a fragrance that when I got into the clone and dupe world, was one of my first like blind buys. And it showed me the potential of what could be out there in the world, and it opened my mind and took me out of the local Sephora and the local Neiman Marcus and put me into the online forums and the Reddits and the various places for people talking about clones and dupes. Because I know when I first heard that clones, dupes, and inspired buys even existed, my mind was blown. I did not think it was real. I did not think it could be a legitimate path to fragrance. And I was way wrong. And I'm so glad that I came into the fragrance community as of recently, came back into it when I did, because this is the perfect time now more than ever on a low budget, high budget, and everything in between to get into fragrances. And, when it comes down to it, I don't care what, your smelly water smells like. It's all fragrance at the end of the day. No one cares if your fragrance is a dupe or not. Does it smell good? Most people probably don't even wear fragrance. This is really a niche community. Most people rock hair gels and body sprays and body washes and bars of soap and Axe spray. You know what I mean? Like they might have a little casual fragrance or something, or they rock the same 2 or 3 fragrances their entire life. I know I did. So, just the fact that you can even own more than 3 bottles of perfumery on your shelf and spend less than $100 for it now is just nothing short of incredible. Anybody, any budget, any area of the world, you can access fragrance in a major way. So anyways, I have talked you to death before we even got through the intro. So let's pay some bills real quick. Okay, again, welcome to the Scent Bubble, guys. Today, the fragrance that we are talking about is none other than Maison Alhambra's Woody Oud. 100 ml, $20 roughly at the time of this current video. And man, let me just tell you something. You know what? Let me grab a test strip. Okay, I'm going to spray the test strip just to do its due diligence, but I know how this smells. It smells amazing. This is my first time getting into oud fragrances, though to me personally, I don't smell oud in the same way I've smelt it on most other fragrances. This to me screams of mineral note. It's really hard for me to describe what I mean when I say minerals, and so in some ways this video isn't going to be helpful. You would have just had to have smelled Tom Ford's Oud Wood. Very mineralic, like for lack of any good descriptions, I smell precious metals, precious stones with crisp, cold, airy water running through them. That's what I mean when I say minerals. Like you just get this earthy, rock and precious metally vibe, but just in a very crisp, like classy way. Like it's just a note where you're like, whoa, when I smelled Tom Ford's Oud Wood, I never smelled a DNA like that in my life, and it put me on the floor. So much versatility with a fragrance like this. Like you could rock it almost any season, any reason. When you get bored of just the profile, because this isn't a fragrance you grab every single day of your life. There's definitely use cases. Like I feel like there's class and sophistication to this, but they've made the fragrance blend so light that you want to wear it multi-occasion, and this is a fragrance you want to find excuses to rock it in, or find various occasions you can make the excuse to rock it in. And so Woody Oud captures the DNA perfectly. Captures the DNA perfectly. Is it one-to-one? No, in terms of its density and in terms of its detail in the background. But as far as the DNA, to me, it's 10 out of 10. When you smell this, you will smell Tom Ford's Oud Wood. And aside from maybe a very brief initial alcohol blast, it gets right to the point. You know right away when you put it on test strip, when you put it on skin, that mineralic, ice cold, airy vibe. I mean, there's just nothing else to say about it. If you guys go to the note breakdown here, um, this really means nothing to me. I definitely get maybe the tiniest hint of sandalwood, but whatever agarwood and Cambodian oud is, I feel like in other fragrances it smells different. But like I said, I smell like precious metals, precious stones with water rushing through it. This says woodiness and moss. I mean, I know I don't even really want to get into it that deep, guys. I don't even smell resins and balsams to me. Like, again, I'm just showing you guys the note breakdown because if any of you guys know what agarwood and Cambodian oud smell like, maybe you can attest to the accuracy of this. But to me, I smell minerals. I smell high class quality minerals and stones with a type of airy, a crisp air note and some sandalwood, some light sandalwood that just kind of sweetens it up. Now, again, this is Tom Ford's Oud Wood light. It nails the DNA. It lacks the density and complexity. It might be a little lighter fragrance. Projection and longevity is probably 4 to 5 hours. This is a fragrance you'll be reapplying. And at first, you'll feel totally fine rocking this fragrance on very many occasions. And you'll feel classy and you'll feel smooth. Eventually, what'll happen is you might get a little tired of this fragrance because it is so linear, right? Like, I think the next step away in terms of the clone world of a fragrance like this is going to be a Mere Celestial, which then introduces a suede note, a fruity note, and a water note, a few other things. But like it starts to take the oud wood vibe and ramp up the sophistication, give it new sweetness, brush up some suede on it. Like it takes the class to another level and it starts to build layers in the background of that fragrance. Now, Tom Ford's Oud Wood definitely has layers and depth, but I still feel like it's a very linear fragrance to me. So this has a lot of personal use case by itself, but I think eventually it turns into a good layering scent. It's such a neutral, classy, safe type of fragrance that you can certainly mineralize other fragrances. Like if you wanted to lighten up a sweet fragrance or you wanted to combine something very woody or green on top of this, I feel like this scent would accentuate other scents or tone them down. I've been experimenting recently with just adding different fragrances with this, where I'll put this on the base and then put a fragrance on top of it, or like I'll go dominant in another fragrance and then just put 1 or 2 squirts of oud wood just to kind of class and lighten it up. And that seems to be serving me quite well. I'm kind of having fun with it, especially since this is a $20 clone. Like I don't mind going through this juice and experimenting, but Tom Ford's Oud Wood is such a unique one-of-one DNA that you have to have it in some form in your collection. Why spend the $150, $200 on the, what is it, less than 50 ml, sometimes 25 ml bottle of Tom Ford? Get yourself Maison Alhambra's Woody Oud. I think you'll see, based off the reviews online and everything, that this more than does the job. I think on a technical analysis, it's a 9 out of 10 because it lacks the depth and longevity, but I think it's a 10 out of 10 in terms of capturing the DNA perfectly, staying true to form, not deviating at all, and also just, I mean, look at the bottle. I mean, it's just this textbook cloning. So, get this in your collection. This is kind of something where, like, if you want to be true to form, you cop this. If you love it, once you get your paper up, you get the Tom Ford just to say that you had it. But I think if you went in a fragrance store like Sephora and tried Tom Ford's Oud Wood, you'd really have to tug your arm and convince yourself to buy it after having this, because this will satisfy every need that you have. Um, Projection is good initially. You'll probably get a solid hour or two of great projection, somewhat of a scent trail, but it is a lighter fragrance. You will be reapplying it throughout the day. You might be lucky to get 4 or 5 hours of it. This is a fragrance you're going to have to go north of 8 sprays, somewhere in the 8 to 12 range, and that's just to get through the day. You'll definitely have to reapply as well, but it's also a good layering fragrance, so definitely consider that in your use case. I think it has tons of versatility. It can be class. It's slightly above casual, but I still think for the right guy, because it's so light and airy, you could really rock it in a lot of use cases. Not playful use cases, but elegance and class added to whatever your vibe is. It's got maturity, it's got uniqueness, it's got some wow factor, etc. And layered with another fragrance might take it out of the stratosphere. And I think the fragrance is not necessarily ageless, but I would say 25 and up. If you want to be 20 and on your grown man stuff, definitely get this because it's light. It's not just a full-blown blast into maturity, but for it is maturity and class in a bottle, but it's light and crisp. So it's not aggressive. You won't look like a fool trying this on. You'll just look like you got some hair on your chest. But anyways, guys, this is certainly something you should add to your collection. Ask me any questions that you might have on this fragrance. I don't want to make the video too long. Cop this fragrance. It is a must-have. They did an excellent job in terms of cloning. No deviations at all. So if you wanted Oud Wood with a twist, this is not the fragrance for you. But if you wanted Tom Ford's Oud Wood, you've come to the right place, and you can get it pretty much on any discounter. That's all for the video. Appreciate y'all for rocking with me in the scent bubble. I am super tired, so I'm going to sign off for the night, but we're going to be cranking these reviews out this week. Like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate everything. I respond to everything. I'm very grateful that you're here, and I hope you have a blessed night. Peace.